Hello and welcome to my podcast. I'm really hoping you can hear me better because it was my birthday last weekend and my eldest bought me a microphone, and I have had a few comments in the past saying that sometimes my voice just goes a little bit quiet and you can't hear me properly. So it was on my list of things to get a new microphone, or to get a microphone. I just use my phone for recording. So my son bought me a microphone. I've got it mounted on top of my phone and then hooked up via cables. Honestly, it took me an age to work that out last night. I am not used to using any sort of tech like that at all, and just getting those connections, because I have an iPhone and I need is it called a lightning jack? Those of you that know these things. I needed that, and I wasn't quite putting it in properly to the cable to the microphone, and it drove me nuts. I kept doing these little videos that were testers. I'd say like, right, I'd just record and I'd be saying, so here's my new microphone, how does this sound, is this better? And then I'd pull the cable out and then I'd say, this is what it used to sound like, and I'm watching it back and I'm shutting my eyes and I'm listening and I'm going, is there any difference? I even took it to my husband and my son and I'm like, is it just me? Or I didn't even know if it was me that was like deliberately then going really quiet on and this is what it used to sound like. I don't know. And oh man, it was driving me nuts. And then when it was my youngest, came through and just went click those two things together properly. And then when I got it working, I'm like, that is working. Yes. So I'm hoping that this improves your experience, that you can hear me better, because often I am recording, like today my husband's working from home, so there is someone else in the house, which I guess maybe makes me a little bit self-conscious. I'm thinking about, what other people are overhearing, even though he tends to go and watch it anyway later, but it probably just makes me go that bit quieter. So I have a microphone. It means as well I can sit back a little bit. I used to have to be really quite close, and you can see all the details of my face, so I'm hoping I can sit back a bit. It'll help me show things better, and all in all, I'm hoping it's better. Can you let me know? And if you are interested, I will pop the details for the microphone. If you think it's good, you can go and check that out. I'll pop that in the description. Everything else I talk about should be in the description. If you haven't been here before, I'm sorry if I talk too fast. I am really quite excited this afternoon because I got quite a lot of yarn related things for my birthday, and I've got them to show you. I've also started at least 2 new projects since we last spoke, so loads to show. First up, a finished object. Now last day I think I'd only done about this, so it is finished and it is blocked. This is my Lazy Days wrap, and it starts in the centre and then it's worked all the way to the end, and then you start again in the centre and you work all the way to the other end. Now, as you can see, this is ridiculously long. Yesterday I blocked it. Yesterday I took it off the blocking mats and I thought it was too long. Do you know what happened? I finished it. I was quite happy with the length. I put it in water to soak it. And then in some moment of madness, I decided, instead of just wringing it inside a towel like I usually would, I would just get a bath sheet, a big towel, and I would just do this and get all the water out. I decided to pop it in the washing machine on a spin cycle. It was just a 600 spin cycle. And it came out and it was like that. And it was this length. And I don't know. I don't like it. It's come out far. If I show you it this way. I mean, I did hope it was going to be lacy. It uses a bigger hook than you would for the yarn, but that is not what I wanted it to be like. So what I'm going to do is put it back in water with, I use Soak, the brand for wool wash. I use Soak. I'll put it in that with a bit of Soak. I will probably leave it overnight to really let it relax. I will take it out and I will use a towel and we'll do this. We'll dry it off. I will re-block it, and I'm hoping that it will squidge in a bit because I don't like it. Alternatively, if I still don't like it, I will work it again, and what I'll do is I'll work an extra repeat, maybe even 2 repeats along, and not make it as long. I would still go with the same hook because overall I like the lightness of it. This is what it looks like unblocked. It's really... So it's not the prettiest of wraps to have as a whip and take photos of because it doesn't look like much. It's quite bunched up. But I really wanted it to shine once it was blocked. That was the idea with this one. But not as crazy long as that. So, watch this space. I will, after I finish podcasting, I will go and re-soak it. I'll be up at my mum and dad's tomorrow. They've got the space and my mum has the blocking mats, and I use Knit Pro blocking needles. So they're long needles, they're about a metre long, a metre long. And for this one, I was just blocking through all the little picots on the edge. So don't get me wrong, I'm really happy with the shawl. That's the edge on it. I just don't like the way it blocked. And I don't know what I was thinking, sticking it in the washing machine. Moment of madness, put it down to that. Absolute madness. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, we'll see. The wool is beautiful wool. It's from the Wool Shed, and Liv dyed this for me. It's called Lazy Days. It is exclusively for me, and I used it first of all last year in my Lazy Days cal. Sorry, this bag has got a bit... It's been around. Last year I did a Lazy Days cal with a sock pattern. This year I'm going to do it with this wrap. So you'll be able to buy the kit with the yarn, and I'm going to change the goodies, the bits and pieces in the bag. There'll still be a postcard from Katie. Katie Gammie designed this illustration for me, which is then what Liv designed the yarn in, and then I designed the patterns in. So it's a really lovely collaboration, and it went down well last year, so I'm doing it again this year, and I'm hoping to launch that in May, towards the end of May. I don't know why I'm stuffing that in there. Mind you, what can go wrong with it? Worst case scenario, I'm going to have to crochet up a second one. But, you know, that shouldn't take me too long. Especially if it's... I think if it's wider, it'll probably be faster to crochet up. I'm hoping. It has been sent to testers. My real life friend Gwen is well underway testing it for me. And I have 2 other Instagram friends, Julie and Ruth, are going to be testing that for me as well. So that will be underway soon. It has been tech edited by Lorraine, who is Lilia Seren Designs on Instagram. And she has done a great job tech editing it for me. So I'm happy with the pattern overall. It's just needing, hopefully, to shrink. I think it worked out. I had to just do math based on how many squidgy blocking tiles. It was taking up 9 of those at 28 centimetres each, which I worked out was 270 centimetres long, which is just, it's too long. It's almost down to my feet. If I just wear it, well, let's put it around my neck. But you'll get an idea of what it's like. If I stand and wear it, it's almost down to my feet, so it's too long. But here we are. Let's see. It goes quite nicely with what I'm wearing, actually. There. I like it. I like the sort of solider, is that a word? The more solid bits and the lacy bits, and I really like the picot edge. It's very pretty. So, yeah. Let's keep that on. Yeah, so it's finished. Ish. And we'll try reblocking. We'll see what happens. I want to clear some space because I have the feeling that my little black dog might come and join me. So I'm going to clear the stuff which is right beside me. For my birthday, my husband bought me this project bag, which is the Janie Crow Emma Ball collaboration. You can see Janie's wee label here. This is the Persian tiles bag. She brought out a whole load of new products. I have some more. And I bought this in Wool for You in Aberdeen. I was in Aberdeen on Friday. We went for my birthday day out to Aberdeen. We took the train up. It was such a lovely journey. I always love looking out to sea on that trip. It's just beautiful. We had a great day in Aberdeen. The sun shone. We went for lunch in our favourite cafe, which is the Bio Cafe. It's organic and vegan. And I had a Thai bean burger, which was a spicy bean burger with peanut sauce and Thai spices and yummy salad, and it was all in a vegan brioche bun. Yum yum. And I had some, what was it called? It was a coconut, it was a Bounty slice, I think, and it was coconutty dark chocolate. Yummy. Really, really lovely. Totally recommend that place if you are in Aberdeen area. And it's not too far from the wool shop. So we went to the wool shop after and I chose this bag for myself. Hubby helped me choose. I think I narrowed it down to a bag. There are a few different ones, a few of Janie's other designs. There's the Mystical Lanterns one. That's a nice one. It's got a pink strip here, but the same colour as the pink on my jumper. And there are other Emma Ball ones as well, with the sheep and the penguins. Penguins? Puffins! And things like that. But I wanted one of the new ones, and it matches really well my yarn. Doesn't that go well? Meant to be. So this is a new project. I am working on I'm unravelling as I go here. Sorry. Let's pull a long loop through so that stops. I'm working on the Alchemilla shawl, which is a pattern by Kat Golden, and it is the Crochet Project's 10th anniversary Hap-along, I think they're calling it. And yeah, I have done quite a lot. Did I bring... I don't think I have. I meant to bring my swatch through. Did I throw it in here? Yes, I did. I swatched for this. And here is my swatch. It's quite different to what I'm actually doing. I wanted to keep it to show you. So I swatched and I reached the exact number of stitches per 10 centimetres, but I was way short on the number, I'm showing you upside down, on the number of rows per 10 centimetres. And even though I had the stitch gauge, this feels quite stiff. It doesn't have too much give in it. I didn't like the drape, basically. I don't think it has enough drape. So I decided to go up a hook size. I maybe even went up 2. I think I possibly went up 2, I can't remember. But this feels lovely and light. You can see through it. It's got a good bit of stretch in it. It's floppy and I really like it. So I'm not using the suggested yarn. That was a bit out of my budget. And then I saw I wasn't even going to be able to take part because I just did not have enough yarn in 4-ply all in one colour. I think this design would look good in 2 colours. I think if you did one colour, it's a square and then it's got a fancy border around it. So I think it would look good in 2 colours if you did one colour for the square, and then or you could even use multicolours for the border. But I don't think it would look so good if you had stripes or anything too stripy going across the yarn. Across the square, because it's worked in rows, this square. So I really wanted it in a solid colour, and then I saw this D-stash on Instagram and I got myself 10 balls of Rowan True 4-ply Botany, which is a discontinued yarn. It is pure wool. I would say it's thicker than a regular 4-ply. I'm not sure why it's called True 4-ply. To me it feels slightly thicker. But yeah, I'm really enjoying working with it. It's soft. I think when it washes up it's going to be lovely. Will not put it through the machine on a 600 spin, that's for sure. Yeah, I am liking this. I'm working a good 5-6 rows a day and I'm getting through it quite quickly, probably about halfway. Because my row count is still less than my stitch count, so once I get close to the required number of rows, I'll have a look and see where I am, how square it's looking, and I may just need to rejig the numbers for going along for the border. I'll have to have a look at that. I'll see closer to the time. I'm about halfway just now. I haven't sewn in the ends yet. The ball had a few cheeky knots in it, one of the balls, which is why there are quite a few ends. I've just left them just now. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this one. I was talking about it in my last podcast and I'm really, really pleased that I'm able to, gosh, look at it folded. It's really lovely, it's squishy. I think it reminds me of like a waffle stitch or something, this stitch. It's quite squishy. Really, really enjoy it. And in the Crochet Projects hub, there are loads of videos. There's a whole load of advice on what to do if your tension isn't right, like mine isn't. It talks about that, which was helpful for me. And I do have an affiliate link for the Crochet Projects hub, and if you use the code HUBINTRO, you will get £3 off the membership for the first 3 months, which is a really good deal. You'd be getting the pattern for £6, which is the same as buying the pattern outright. So I would recommend you go and check that out, and you'll have access to other patterns, loads of other stitch tutorials and videos and things like that. I've been a member since it first came out. I joined and don't regret it. It's a really nice little community and it's worthwhile. Yeah. So that has worked out well in this bag. Let's tuck you back in. This bag was a really reasonable price, by the way. I think it was $13.99, which I thought was pretty good. It is, not even sure what it's made from. It's either cotton or it's poly cotton. It's lined with, it is crochet, it's not knitting, it's lined with crochet, a crochet pattern. Yeah, happy with that. Shall I show you my other Wool For You purchases? I didn't buy any yarn. I think I was going away that day and my mum was saying to me, don't buy yarn, don't buy yarn. So I didn't buy any yarn. I did buy that bag. And my youngest chose this one for me. It's a little tin. It's got hearts on it. It is another Janie Crow Emma Ball collaboration. And I love that it's got stuff on the sides. And I love anything with hearts. I'm a big sucker for a heart theme. And inside, filled it with these little scraps. And there's some Emma Ball washi tape. I'm not sure how clearly you're going to be able to see this. Let me see. I pull a piece. I think it'll work best on a bit of... Oh yeah, we can see it. Look. It's kind of a knitted washi tape. I really like it. It's going to go in my journal, of course. And also nestled in the tissue paper, some stitch markers. They're not all... Come on, show the right way around. Show the camera. Oh, I'm going to have to pull one off now, am I? They're all the same. No, they're not. They're all similar. There. Is it showing up? Yep. So these are enamel stitch markers. They're with the clasp hook. And there are a few of them. They're the same pattern as on here. So they match that. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, one in my hand. There are 6. And they come on a wee safety pin. And I just thought they were so cute. Oh man, there's one with a heart. Look. These are just lovely. So that was another really nice present from Wool For You. Wool For You is a fab shop. It's in the Rosemount area of Aberdeen, and it's a wee gem tucked full of yarn, and there's loads of cottons. And it's perfect if you like amigurumi. I think they have the rikorumi ones. There are books. There is Shetland wool. There are a few, I want to say, a few smaller yarn company yarns, commercial yarn, variety of thicknesses and things, as well as they have a huge Emma Ball range. You can get almost everything that I have seen online in that shop. Good selection of books, and racks and racks of knitting and crochet patterns, as well as other little bits and pieces, needles, you know, all your notions, all that stuff. It is chock-a-block. Right, I've spied another present. It's a pin, and it's a tree with balls of yarn. This was from my middle son. Him and his girlfriend gave me this and a shawl, which are both lovely, and I'm not sure where this is from, so I can't give that one a shout out. If I find out, I will link it below. And while I'm on presents, I will show the final yarn related present, which is the Shetland Wool Week Annual 2022. So this is last year's annual, and it was on my wish list. I'll show you what I want to make. Sorry, I should have had it clicked open on the page, shouldn't I? Here it is. I want to make that. Is that showing up well? For Jazz. I want to make that one for sure. It's just super cute. Little dog coat. I'll see if I can find the other picture which shows it nice and clearly. Here. Look! Isn't that gorgeous? Jazz would really suit that, and she is the same shape as this kind of dog, so I think that would just look gorgeous on her. Although I imagine it's written in a few different sizes. I haven't yet looked at it, but I imagine there are a few sizes. Yep. So, lots of lovely patterns in here and pictures. I just love it. And if you do like Shetland wool, the Shetland Wool Week, not Shetland wool, if you like Fair Isle knitting and all things Shetland Wool Week related, the Patreon of Shetland Wool Week for 2023 and the new hat design are coming out next Friday, 28th of April. Hey, I know today's date, it's the 20th of April. I'm always going, oh man, what's today's date? I don't know. I think it's Thursday, but because I always podcast on a Thursday, I never know what the date is, but I'm confident today it is the 20th of April. So next Friday, the new details are coming out, which is exciting. And I have been knitting a Fair Isle hat. Not a Shetland Wool Week one, but oh, I didn't bring the pattern with me. It is the Port Moke Moss beanie hat, which is a pattern by Louise Mossam, and I'm keeping it in my Shetland Wool Week bag. That of course is Katie's Kep from 2020. And here we are. It's got a few ends to sew in there. I have done half of them. I've got a few. If you let me untangle it, I can show you it better. There we go. That is what we have so far. It's a really, really gorgeous pattern. There are trees here, and then there's some falling leaves, and then the top ends in a big swirl in these two colours. This is possibly my favourite stitch marker, and it is by Juanita, who is Simple Natural Handmade on Instagram, and it's hand carved out of wood. It's a little toadstool, and it is fantastic. I would really like one of Juanita's hand carved hooks. They are definitely on my wish list. She does some with a toadstool on the end, if you can imagine, kind of a wooden hook, and then it's got a toadstool end. And there are some that are just plain, sort of plain wood bark and then that carved handle. They look really, really pretty. And I'm sure they'd be lovely to use as well. So I am using some stash and I'm using some Jamieson's Shetland Spindrift. I think I showed this off in the last podcast. I bought these in Ba in Stonehaven, and I'm gonna have to pause. We have the doorbell. Sorry about that, somebody came to the door. But it's meant I've been able to pick up the pattern that the Portmoak Moss beanie hat is in. And it's this one. I did show you this in the last podcast. It's coming back to me now. Beautiful pattern. I'm really enjoying it. The charts are easy to follow. Pattern's easy to follow. And like all Fair Isle patterns like this, I am just flying through it. I think because every row is different, every round is different. You're just, I'll just do the next bit. I'll just do the next bit. I want to see the trees appear, and yeah, you can just see them starting to appear. I think my contrast could have been a bit better. So either this one should have been a bit paler, or the green should have been a bit darker, just to show them up a bit more. Perhaps when I've done some more rows, that'll show up more. I don't know, I quite like the fact that this is... Jazzy, you can come be in my podcast. Oh, not quite. She's almost there. Her head's here. You gonna be in my podcast? The fans like to see you. No, I think she's off. She's never that settled in this room. She likes to be at the front of the house so that she can scare off guys who come to the door, like that last guy. It was just a salesman trying to get us to, I don't know, roofs or something. I didn't even really look at the card, I just got rid of the guy. So yeah, that was that. So I think I was talking about the yarn. It is Jamieson's of Shetland, and it's a lovely 2-ply in that it is 2 pieces applied together. Shetland wool, and it is 4-ply thickness, if that makes sense. And I'm using 3.5mm needles. I think these are Knit Pro. They're those ones that have got the kind of marble look on them. I can't remember what type they are, but they are Knit Pro, I remember that. And that's about all I want to say on that one. I am sure if it isn't finished by the next podcast, it will be nearly finished. I am whistling through that quite quickly, and it's for my friend Gwen. She helped choose the colours, so tuck that away in there. Dog has gone. She is off. 2 more projects to show you. Another one in a small bag, and ironically the bag says Granny Love and the pattern is the Not So Granny wrap. It's another crochet project pattern. This one's by Joanne's Grace, and I've done quite a bit on this. I believe I was somewhere back on the first colour change the last time, and considering it's lace weight and it's pretty slow because those stitches are tiny. But look, isn't it pretty? Isn't it delicate if I put it over my... Ooh, it would go really nicely with this jumper. It is just so light and floaty. I'm really, really liking it. Very simple. It's an easy one to do last thing at night because the pattern is very easy to memorise. It's a chevron with little clusters down the decrease. I'm using, the pink is Fibre Spates, 4-ply, and it's a mix of wool and silk, and I'm using 2 contrast colours. The pattern's written for 4. I am using 3 colours in total, and my 2 extra ones are by theyarngarden.co.uk, and they are Cobweb. I don't know which one's which. One of these is Crack Willow Fancy Frills, and I'm not the other one. The label's over there, but they are both the same, from the same dyer. You can see they're quite similar. and they have silk in them as well, mix of wool and silk, and they're so soft and light. So because I'm only using 3 colours, I'm going to do, the pattern kind of follows this. You do a band and then you start a new colour and then you go back to the old colour and then your new colour and then you start a new colour and go back to that colour and then into the new colour. I'm going to put the magenta between each. So I'll do this colour and then I'll do more magenta and then I'll do the other colour, which is slightly different. It's kind of similar, but I think once it's worked up, it's slightly lighter and it has more of the orangey colour in it. And so I'm just going to go between, I'm going to go pink, that, pink, this, pink, back to that. Because I do have about 1.5 balls of this one, and I believe I will have enough yarn to do it that way. Simply because I have 3 colours and not 4. So that is working out really nicely. It's in, I've got the project book in here. It's in the Shawl Project book 5, and it's that one there. 5 lovely patterns in this book. And this one, if you are signed up to the Crochet Project's mailing list, that is the shawl that is in the top of the emails. So I think that's maybe why I was drawn to it, because I'd seen it so many times. You know, we are drawn to the familiar, aren't we? Anyway, that is the one that shouted out to me, so that's the one I'm making. The final thing I have to show you is my Battenberg blanket. Now, the blanket itself hasn't had too much love, but I don't think I've added a single square. It's exactly as it was when I last showed you, but I have added a lot. I now have a box. I have added a load of squares. Da, da, da. And I'm really happy. I've been using a Zauber ball, a crazy Zauber ball by Schoppel, and that is giving me so many different colours. If you've ever used one before, it's a colour changing sock yarn. So they've come from the same ball, and so has, let's find another one, and so has this, and then there's some greenish ones like this, and they've all come from the same ball. So it's giving me a really big variety of colours that I just didn't really have before. I was missing some colours in the spectrum, and I didn't really know, without going out and buying a ton of minis or full-size skeins and I don't know, making something out of them to end up with the leftovers. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to get more colours, but that seems to be my answer. I bought, I'm trying to look around, see if I can see the other one. I don't actually have the balls here with me. Oh, I do. I can just about reach. So handy having my own craft space. Here is the ball I'm using. So that is how it looks. So you can see, if we just pull it apart a bit, you can see all the different colours within it. And it's making it seem like I have more different colours and leftovers than I really do. So I bought this one, and I bought another second one. I'm just wondering if it's in my... It's not in my scraps basket. But I have another. That's what got me started on it. This is another one. That's all I'm left of with it. I knitted a pair of socks in this. So it knits up beautifully into socks as well. It's definitely not just for crazy blankets. It's nice and soft. I believe it's either 75 or 80% wool and 20 or 25% nylon, one or the other. And it is 2-ply. So if we take it apart, that's how the colours work out. So there are 2 bands of colour plied together. Let's see if I can get it to split for you. Are you going to behave? Oh, nearly. There. So you've got the pink here and the dark brown here, and each strand slowly changes colour. So then together you end up with a huge variation in the colours. Can you see that? See how it's... Come on, you focus. You can see how it is plied. Really clever. And good value for money. I think that was about £13. I got 2 of those in Ba in Stonehaven. You find it in most larger wool shops, and you can get it online as well. It's a German company, I believe. And I think that is all I have to share. Other than the little bit of pattern grading that I've been doing. I've been doing the course with Lynn Rowe, and I've now graded the main body part of the jumper I've been working on, and I think it's coming on alright. A little bit to sort on the neck, but altogether it's looking good. And then I just need to grade the sleeves, and the pattern will be written up, which I'm quite pleased about. It's been a really lovely course. I'm enjoying it a lot. And Lynn is working hard behind the scenes. I'm her little guinea pig, and Lynn has been working on notes, and there will be video tutorials for the course, and it's going to be a really good course, and I do recommend it, and I will link to it when it becomes available, because if you are a crochet designer and you're interested in grading for the 9 sizes from extra small up to 5X, then it's definitely one for you. And there's no spreadsheets needed, because I am not a spreadsheet person. Lynn teaches you how to go about the maths for it, with the option to use a spreadsheet if you want to do that. But I think the maths element of it, and knowing how how the different parts of the body go up in size, that is, I believe, more important than just popping a whole load of numbers in a spreadsheet. Because if you don't know what it is that you're trying to do, then even if you put them in a spreadsheet, you might not quite get the equations correct, and wouldn't necessarily be right. So definitely look out for that. I will obviously do a big shout out when the course does go live, if you're interested in writing up garment patterns. And yeah, I think that is all. I'm sorry I was slow to respond to all your lovely comments on my last podcast. I had a couple of quiet 2 weeks where I didn't really do much admin. I spent a lot of time crocheting. This is what I worked on mostly, as well as some other bits and pieces. Obviously I've started the Alchemilla shawl. I just took a couple of weeks out and did a lot of crochet and just kind of let everything else slide. I kind of kept up with a minimum for Instagram, and I've been sending stuff to my email list, but other than that I've just stepped right back and enjoyed crocheting. So I haven't got round to answering all those comments. I'm going to do that now as the podcast is uploading. So if you want to leave me a comment on this podcast, I will get back to them faster than I have on the last one. I do appreciate all your comments. It's lovely to hear from you. So have a great 2 weeks. I will be back, and I shall have hopefully some more finished things, and I'll probably have started some things as well. And yeah, big love to you all. Bye.